Let's recap Stephon Castle's rookie season.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs, radio the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kins 5 San Antonio. I'm always glad to have you all back. You guys are the viewers. Keep coming here every single day for all things silver and black. Subscribe at Locked On Spurs, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Kins 5 Plus Lab. You know where to go. Pick a platform. We're there. Go do that ASAP. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get themselves $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. You want to do that ASAP. What are we talking about today? We're going to look back at last season and put on the spotlight, or under the spotlight, I should say, Stephon Castle. Yeah, we're going to recap Castle's rookie season, the pros, the cons. What does he need to do to get better? So much more, and then put a grade on his rookie season. And then in the final segment, we're going to look at some Locked On Spurs comments, see what you guys are talking about. So much more right here on Locked On Spurs. But yeah, Stephon Castle, possibly part of the new Big Three. We'll see how that works out. You know, Wemby, himself, Castle, and Fox. But as much as there were some good things, and we'll get to that too, there were some bad things as well. Of course, it's probably couched and tucked in, a little pigeonhole there, that being his rookie season. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and bring in our guest. He is Michael Jimenez to close out the week right here on Locked On Spurs. He's with Area 210 Podcast. That's on YouTube. He'll talk about it in just a few minutes. Follow him on X at MJ Acquired Taste. Jimenez, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, man, how's it going? I didn't know you were a Dallas Cowboys fan. What's that all about?
Yeah, I thought you knew that.
No, I've really for so long, I've known you for years. Never knew you were a Cowboy fan.
You know why, especially with the cap? I'll be honest, I'll show you why. Here you go. Because I am just lazy, and my Spurs cap needs a cleaning. That's why I switched it up. I was like noticing that on past videos. I was like, oh my God, my cap is getting dirty. I gotta switch it up. And I found, actually, I forgot that I had this Cowboys cap. I was cleaning out my closet the other day.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, here we go. A pretty much a brand new cap. It's, as you can tell, everybody ain't much to hear about the Cowboys, and I rarely wear it. But yeah, that's the only reason why I switched it up, just because I needed a cleaner cap on camera.
Do you know who's a Cowboys fan? Giannis.
See what you're doing there? See what you're doing? You're just stirring that pot. You know, where were you a couple of days? We talked about Giannis, man. You would have really loved to jump on one. But again, everybody, we appreciate Jimenez for taking time out of his busy schedule. We'll let him go shortly because he's got to get back to work. But we're going to be talking about Stephon Castle, who Jimenez says is his son and has a Stephon Castle jersey. So I couldn't think of a better person to talk about Castle than Mike Jimenez. So Jimenez, let's go ahead and start off. What do you want to start off with, the good or the bad? What do you want to do first?
Let's start with the good. I mean, he was just named to the all-rookie first team, obviously, because he was rookie of the year.
Yeah.
But this one finally was the unanimous selection. Got all 100 votes there. It was obvious, right? He was the rookie of the year. And Zachary Richardson got 99 of the votes for first team as well. But the positives outweigh the negatives when it comes to Stephon Castle. He met expectations. He exceeded expectations in his rookie campaign. 14.7 points per game, basically 4 assists and 4 rebounds. But it's the last 10 games of the season that I really focus on, because it was 18 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. He showed that he can be a legit starter on this team, legit starter in the NBA. And he turned heads. You saw players like Draymond Green come out and say that this guy could play. LeBron James come out and sing his praises. A fantastic rookie season for the Spurs, and back-to-back rookie of the years. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go look at some of the numbers that he did last year in San Antonio. I mean, impressive. 14.7 points per game, 4.1 assists, 3.7 rebounds in about 81 games. So he played pretty much almost an entire season, just missed one. What I liked about him, the versatility. I mean, he is just versatile. He's a Swiss Army knife if I've ever seen one. From the defensive end to the physicality, to the scoring, to the ability to attack the rim, facilitate. He did it all. Playmaking improved significantly as the season went on. we flashed the image of him. He was an all-star, MVP, rookie, Rising Stars Challenge. I mean, you mentioned about the post All-Star break, towards the end of his rookie campaign there. You mentioned 18 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, 5.0 assists. We can't even forget about this. He led all rookies in points scored, total. This guy was a wrecking ball. But as much as we know offensively what he can do defensively, obviously that's where he shines the best. I think one thing that doesn't get highlighted enough is his ability to rebound. He averaged about 1.1 defensive rebounds per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, total offensive and defensive. I think that is something that needs to be highlighted more. He can create those second chance opportunities or get the rebounds and attack. And I think that just leads to his size. He's a prototypical NBA guard, isn't he?
He is, like you mentioned, a Swiss Army knife. And this is kind of the difference between him and Devin Vassell. If Devin Vassell's not having a good shooting night, he's basically useless out there. But when it comes to Stephon Castle, he can do so many different things out there, whether it comes from lockdown defense, as you said, facilitate the ball, get some rebounds, get some scoring, attack the bucket. What I enjoyed most about Stephon Castle his rookie year was that oftentimes you hear the phrase the rookie wall, because the college season's only about 40 games, NBA season's 82 games. As you mentioned, he played 81 of the 82 games. And I think the one that he missed was after the All-Star break. It was kind of like he needed some time off. Yeah. So you look at it, and he didn't hit that wall. In fact, he got better and better as the season went on. And he was playing his best ball at the end of the season. We don't see that with rookies. And he was NBA ready from the get-go, which is why on Locked On Spurs with you over a year ago, 18 months ago, we were talking about Stephon Castle months before he got drafted by the Spurs, because this was the type of player that the Spurs needed. Brian Wright hit a home run. I think it was a no-brainer, though. Okay? I mean, he was the best player available on the board. Spurs did not fumble that bag. They took the guy that they needed to take, the best player available. I'm hoping that they're going to do that this year with Dylan Harper.
Another area on the defensive end that I want to highlight outside of the rebounding is his steal rates. His steal rate per game led all rookies. That just goes to show you that he really is committed to his defensive side of the court there. He likes to generate those opportunities for the Spurs and, hopefully getting W's moving forward. So as much as we shine a light on his offense, it's just incredible, and his leaping ability and his, highlight-worthy dunks, that's good. But when it gets down to it, the dirty work, he's not shy to do the dirty work, rebounding, steals, being a pest on defense. He does it all. And he does it with a low-key demeanor, Jimenez.
He does.
You never – I think I saw him maybe get excited, just boisterous on the court just a handful of times last season. Even when he just – can we talk about just another intangible, the dog in him? Do you think he probably has – the biggest dog in him on the roster? I will lump him up there with the Chris Paul. We'll see what he's San Antonio or not. But last season, Chris Paul had that dog. But Stephon Castle, every time he dunked on somebody, you see him just mean mugging those other guys. I love that aspect of him. Jimenez thoughts.
Oh, he's up there. I wouldn't say he was the Spur with the most dog, but he does have some in him. But you mentioned how he can attack the basket, right? I just love the way that he shifts speeds, right? That's the good thing about what he does, is that you don't know what's coming next. He's like a pitcher who throws an off-speed pitch and then a fastball, curveball, off-speed. He runs up the court literally at different paces, and sometimes he slows down to the point where the defender just flies on by, and then he lays it in or dunks it in or whatever the case may be. It's very poetic what he's able to do out there offensively and defensively. Pop always loved this. I know Pop is gone and we're in the Mitch Johnson era, but Pop always said, if you can play defense and play lockdown defense, you've got a role on this team and you're going to get your minutes. Notice how they played him, right? They brought him off the bench for a while. Then they got him onto the starting unit and he thrived. He was a different player as a starter than as a bench player. That's the weird thing, Jeff, is that he was not very good coming off the bench. He was just okay. But as a starter, he was a very, very, very good player. And one thing I will say as a positive of Stephon Castle, he went to the University of Chris Paul, the same way that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did 5 years ago when SGA shared a backcourt with Chris Paul there at Oklahoma City for that one season. and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander named MVP this year. Think about all the corporate knowledge on the court, off the court, how to prepare. Chris Paul gave to SGA, and he gave that to Stephon Castle. So there's a lot of positives there. The trend line is there. And if you look at the rookie stats, Castle's rookie stats were much better than SGA's. Yeah. SGA made second team All-NBA rookie that year, 5 years ago. Castle was rookie of the year. So it's pretty interesting to see what can develop, which is why there's a lot of hesitancy of Spurs fans when it comes to if the Spurs were going to trade for a Giannis to get rid of a Stephon Castle, because we know what we've got with him, and we're projecting him to be potentially all-star caliber.
Led all rookies in total points, led all rookies in total steals, 74, led all rookies in free throws made at 249. This guy is the real deal. As you mentioned a little while ago, all rookie first team, unanimous pick. The list goes on and on. He's done a lot. And I get bouncing Jimenez. I was a little surprised. I did not see this coming from Castle. And I think maybe I bought into the whole, well, this draft, it sucks. It's watered down. You're not maybe you might get a contributor. I think looking back at that draft class, Jimenez, years from now, people are going to say, like, why was everybody bagging on it? Because there were some pretty good players to come out of that draft class, from Castle to reshape to McCain. Edie played pretty well, so I think it was perhaps not given enough shine as it should have. But nevertheless, focusing on Castle himself, I think what he proved last season, Jimenez, that he is a vital cog in this rebuild, that he is a pillar. He's not just a player we can swap in and out and maybe we'll deal him later on. No, I think barring a Giannis kind of situation, but outside of that, man, he's here for the long haul, isn't he?
He is. And I joked on my podcast a while back, also on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste. I joked, what if Wemby became the Robin, the Stephon Castle's Batman? And a lot of people got frustrated and pissed off about that because they were like, how dare you put down Wemby that way? But the fact of the matter is, you mentioned that phrase, got that dog in him. Castle has more dog in him than Wemby. Wemby is obviously more talented in the sense that he's 7'4" and able to do certain things that Castle can't do. But from a standpoint of just mentality, aggressiveness, Castle has more than that than Wemby. And when we look at certain players on the Spurs roster, you look at players like Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, players like Keldon Johnson, they're going to be NBA players for 10, 12 years. They're going to have long careers, whether it's with the Spurs or somebody else. They're going to have long careers because they're good enough to be in the NBA. The question was, of the young core, who was going to be good enough to potentially be an all-star, to be part of a big three or a big four of a playoff team? Castle has proven that he's better than Vassell. He's better than Sohan. He's better than Keldon in the sense that his upside is so much greater than those three players. And the focus has to be on Castle, because Castle, that's a special player, man. That's a special player. And now we're looking at getting a potentially Dylan Harper with the number 2 pick of the draft next month. That's interesting because Dylan Harper plays very similar skill set, similar size as Stephon Castle, but is higher rated coming out of college, has potentially a higher ceiling than Castle. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see how we're going to do this. Everyone's saying, oh, well, you can't draft that because you got to trade it away because you already have somebody there. But you can't do that. You have to take the best player available. Back in the 80s, they passed on Jordan to get Sam Bowie because they needed a center. No, you don't do that. You get the best player available and you figure it out. Maybe they can play together.
Absolutely. He is Mike Jimenez of Area 210 Podcast. Follow my next at MJ Acquired Taste. Do that right now. When we get back, we're going to look at the other side of the coin. What are some areas that we didn't like out of Castle in his rookie season? That's coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs. Hey, let's talk about FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's in-game, game-winning shots or a breakout player, there can never be a better time to get in on the action. You got to go to FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance awards, same-game parlays. I mean, look, it has so many ways more than ever to play smart and win big. Look, how can you win up to $200 in bonus in bets and add excitement with your first $5 bet? If it hits, you go to FanDuel. What if you got a read on somebody who's heating up? Why not back it up with the same game parlay over at the FanDuel app? And look, they got live prep. Let me try that again. That live prop bets mid-game based on how the auction, or the action, I should say, unfolds. Like, you got tracking the trends. I mean, they got it all at FanDuel, so you go there ASAP. If you're new to FanDuel, not a problem. It's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. And we're back right here, Locked On Spurs, joined by Mike Jimenez to close out the week here on Locked On Spurs on this great Friday afternoon or morning by the time I put this out. He is with Area 210 Podcast, following my next NBA Acquired Taste. We're talking about Stephon Castle, looking back at his rookie season, pros, cons, and we're going to give him a grade in just a few minutes. All right. There's no doubt about it. You summed it up perfectly, Jimenez. There's a lot more pros than cons for his rookie season and his immediate future. But there are some other downside. I think the big downside so far we saw, and the numbers back it up, is the outside shooting. This guy, he really struggled, especially from the three line. Now, he showed flashes of getting better more than a bit, but overall, he struggled from the perimeter. Three line was an issue. But as we've seen so far this offseason, he's working with the guard whisperer. Yeah, that's a real person, everybody. Guard whisperer to work on that shot. A lot of videos going up there. He's hitting threes. He's hitting perimeter shots, catch and shoot, drive the basket, pull up pop shots. I get it. It's in a contained environment. It's not NBA game action. But nevertheless, that has to be top priority number one. That shot has to get better, doesn't it, Jimenez?
Oh, most definitely. And it's so interesting watching Stephon Castle, because you may have caught this throughout several games, especially in February, March, and April. That three-point shot wasn't going in. He shot 28.8% for the season. And as confident as he is bringing the ball up the court, as confident as he is locking down somebody defensively, as confident as he is taking it to the hole and mean-bugging people and all that stuff, when it comes to shooting from 23 feet out, dude, that confidence goes out the window, and you could see in the body language. He doesn't follow through on the shot. He hesitates, and it's not a fluid motion when it comes to it. It's not a broken shot, though, right? It's not Jeremy Sohan with a broken shot that they're trying to fix. It looks good, but there's a confidence level that he's lacking when it comes to shooting three. He didn't do well shooting three in college at UConn. Didn't do it as a rookie with the Spurs. Something's got to change, because 28.8% is not going to cut it, because that's what they're going to do. Defenses are going to dare you to shoot the ball. And if you can't lock it down at 35%, you are hurting the team when it comes to that. You either take that out of your bag, become a DeMar DeRozan and be a become nothing but twos, or because at that point you're being detrimental towards the team if you're shooting. But you got to let it fly for a while, prove to yourself that you can knock it down. But 28.8%. And there was a point in the season, February, March, where it ticked upward.
It did.
But then the last 5, 6, 7 games of the season went back down. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You mentioned that slight improvement that he had. After February 1, I got the number here. It went up to about 30.2% from the three line. Still not good enough, but at least it shows some sort of progress in that three-point shot as the season went on. He has an inconsistent jumper. We highlighted that to start this segment here. And, he's got to work on that. Defenses are going to sag on him if he doesn't get better. That's clogging the lane for guys like Fox, if they pick Harper, and even for Wemby himself. Teams are going to be able to collapse and maybe send more double teams on him. The good news is, though, we did see some defenses kind of commit to him, throwing a double team from time to time towards the end of last season. Maybe that was just a byproduct of no Fox and Wemby. They got to shut down somebody. But nevertheless, if he's going to see those type of defenses, one way to bust those defenses is knocking down the outside shot. Shoot mechanics, that can use a little bit of work, not too much. But here's the other thing, too. Let's talk about this that I thought was kind of a con as well. Turnover reduction. That needs to get better. He turned the ball over a lot. Now, that could just be a byproduct of him being a rookie. I get that. But you got to have that responsibility when the ball is in your hand. You don't want to mess up pick and rolls. There should be easy pick and rolls. Him and Wemby, whoever's going to run the pick and roll with him, should be better. I like to see a turnover reduction moving forward. Let me ask you this, though. Do you think his offensive creativity needs work? Because he's either, at this point of his career, Jimenez, he's technically just drive in and score in the paint because he has no shot creation. What do you think about that?
It's going to be difficult to say so far because we don't know what we have because De'Aaron Fox is only playing 17 games with the Spurs this past season, and he was hurt, right?
Mhm.
So we saw them play together, and we saw an improvement in Castle because Castle was able to play off ball. He was able to find his spots and play his role is what he was doing. He will develop a better bag of tricks when it comes to doing things offensively. We're already seeing these videos of him working out in the offseason, trying to fix his jumper and whatnot. Honestly, fixing the jumper is the only thing he needs to do. I mean, he drives the ball very well. He cuts the basket. He finishes breaks very well. It's the jump shot, and you can tell that there's a lack of confidence when it comes to it because when he shoots the ball, he holds the form, right? It's like he's hoping and praying that it goes in, which is weird because he's so confident in everything else that he does out there. You mentioned the turnovers. There were some turnovers where it appears as though he wanted that pass back. Yeah. Like he tossed the ball to the teammate, and he was like, "Oh wait," and he wanted to grab the pass back. Sure. So he did that a couple of times. That's just rookie mistakes. That's all that is. But I mean, when you put it all in totality, though, what a great and special player he is because
for sure.
The guy was a rookie, 14.7 points per game, getting better and better. He probably averaged like 17 or 18 as a starter for crying out loud. As a rookie, if he develops a 3-point shot, he doesn't have to be excellent at it. We're not expecting him to be Harrison Barnes or Julian Champagnie, 38 to 40% from three. We don't expect that. But we need Wemby and Castle to be around 34 to 36% where they're respectable to pretty decent at three. If we get that improvement, that leap from them, then this is a team that's going to be analytically in line to be a playoff team.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just playmaking, expanding that department, I think that'd be good. Because again, we only have, I guess, technically a sample size of a rookie season. And although that's good, but, we'll see how his game expands moving forward. Because as of right now, without that reliable 3-shot or mid-range game, he's just a drive guy and get into the paint and score. I mean, that doesn't say he's horrible at it. I think he was like 73% at the rim. So he's pretty good at it. There's no knock on that. But just to diversify that bag he has offensively, I think that is going to do him well. The lessons from Chris Paul, as you highlighted, Jimenez would do him well moving forward. But you need continued growth right now on the outside shot, playmaking, cutting down on turnovers. Yeah, so there's still work for him to do. But again, he's just a rookie. And at the trajectory that he's going, he's only going to get better. All right, as you can tell, there really was a lot more pros and cons, but nevertheless, there is some room for improvement. So, but what do we grade him? Yeah, we're going to talk about that coming up right here on Locked On Spurs. What is our final grade for Stephon Castle's rookie season? We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Mike Jimenez of Area 210 Podcast. Follow him on X at MJ Acquired Takes. By the way, did you catch that in the last segment? Took another shot at Jeremy Sohan. That's what Jimenez is known for. He had that broken shot like Jeremy Sohan. But nevertheless,
it is obvious.
Jimenez. Leave it to Jimenez to throw that in there. All right. By the way, everybody, it's time to give us we're going to give you a grade on Stephon Castle. Jimenez, you are the guest. Take it away. What's your grade for Castle's rookie campaign?
We have to grade with a curve. I mean, obviously, if you're rookie of the year and you're the unanimous first team All NBA rookie, it has to be an A. Grading with a curve. Okay. Yeah. Now, if this was his production level as a 4 or 5 year vet, it'd be a B, right? But because he's a rookie, could he have been better? Could he have been an A plus? Well, if his 3-point shooting was better, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. But put things all in totality as a rookie with that curve, I give it a solid A. I mean, he's rookie of the year for crying out loud. All but 2 votes?
2 votes, yeah. Those fools. I can't believe they did that to him. All right, I'm with you right there. He's an A. Yeah, he's an A. I'm not going to give an A plus because we highlighted some of the room for improvement, but he could definitely that's how close he is to being an elite player in this league. Not just a guard, elite player. So he gets boost. I mean, pick one of those categories we looked at in the con section. That'll just going to elevate him moving forward. He is a solid A for me. All right, that's our grade for Castle in his rookie season. What do you think? How did he do? You let Jimenez know on X at MJ Aquarte. You let me know by going to the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. Leave it a comment. We're reading the future episode. And speaking of Locked On Spurs fan comments, we're going to do that right now. What are y'all guys talking about over there at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page? Well, the big topic is Giannis, Spurs, chatter, rumbling, rumors, speculation. Yeah, a lot of you guys are talking about that. But we're going to do a little twist today, Jimenez. Yes, it technically is a comment left on the Locked On Spurs YouTube page, but it's from a Bucks fan. The Bucks fans are invading Locked On Spurs, Jimenez.
They've entered the chat.
They've entered the chat, so let's see what they have to say. So let's read this comment. By the way, it's going to give away exactly where they're from, their handle here. Cheesehead 2025. All right, so let's see what Cheesehead has to say. He says, Locked On Spurs. As a Bucks fan, the Spurs can have Giannis for either Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle, plus the Hawks' future draft picks, Minnesota's pick swap, Boston's pick swap, and let's get it here. What else do they want? And Sacramento's pick swap. So that's at least this Bucks fan who's entered the Locked On Spurs chat says it might be the sticker price for Giannis in their opinion. First of all, get your reaction to that. What do you think of it? You think that's a hefty, sticker price for Giannis?
You'd have to add in there Devin Vassell,
right?
Eric
One of the Bears,
Other Johnson,
yeah,
because you need to match salaries to some extent when it comes to it all. So if you were to say, okay, Harrison Barnes, Vassell, Keldon, Harper, which is the number 2 overall pick,
yeah,
and then all those swaps in the future. Honestly, that's the going rate. Yeah. That's the going. That is asking 100 cents on the dollar for that trade. The question is, are the Bucks actually going to get 100 cents on the dollar for him? We saw what the Spurs did in fleecing Sacramento. We gave up 10 cents on the dollar for De'Aaron Fox. Giannis is going to command closer to 100 cents on the dollar. I don't think it's going to take that much to make it happen. There is other competition out there. Houston may want him. Brooklyn, the Knicks may want him. So there's other teams that want his services and know that he's a top 5 player in the NBA right now. What that Bucks fan said was actual and factual from their perspective because that is actually his going rate. But I don't think it's going to take that much to make it happen. I mean, I think one of these teams is going to put up an offer that's going to be good enough. It's kind of like selling a house, right? You want to sell it at this price, but more than likely it's going to come down to this price, right? But you don't want to get lowballed the way Sacramento did. And that's what's going to happen. There's only 4 or 5 teams that are suited, that have the resources, have the draft capital, have the salaries to match, and have the decent young players to be attractive enough to go get a Giannis. Brian Windhorst of ESPN said that this week, saying that the most obvious place to go would be San Antonio. And that would be kind of hurtful a little bit, man. For me as a Spurs fan, as much as I would love to see a team with Fox and Castle and with Fox and Wemby and Giannis, the idea of emptying the war chest for one player is very, very, very difficult to swallow. If the Spurs did not have the number 2 pick in the draft, if we had the number 8 pick the way we were originally slotted, I would be like, empty the war chest.
Yeah.
But when we got the number 2 pick, when we won the lottery to move up from 8 to 2, that changed everything, because now you're getting rid of Dylan Harper, who is the consensus by far the number 2 player of this draft, the 1A to Cooper Flag. I understand from a Bucks fan perspective what they're saying. That's 100 cents on the dollar. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. But if Brian Wright pulls the trigger, guess what? I'm going to go buy a Giannis jersey. So, I'm ride or die with the Spurs.
That's the thing. Let's just say the Spurs go ahead and pony up the sticker price and pay it. It's not like they're getting some scrub. I mean, this is a generational Hall of Fame talent to pair with the Wemby. You heard reports, anonymous execs saying, oh, that happens. Wemby and Giannis, forget about it. It's Title City. Here we come. And I get that, but for me, it's just, I don't mind the Spurs paying an expensive price tag. I just want to see what they're going to use to pay it. If it's Harper and then those picks, I mean, you got to use the picks. They can't draft everybody, and it costs a Keldon or a Vassell. I mean, you may have to do it. You got to spend money to make money, but it's just, for me, it's just difficult, Jimenez, to pass on a talent like Giannis. I know they're gonna be, oh, well, look at his age. He's already, probably at the peak of his powers or starting to push down, but that's freaking Giannis. If you can get him for like 4 or 5 years at peak Giannis, I mean, that's, again, it's not like he has 2 more years and that's it. He's going to be out the door. I mean, he's going to give you he's going to be a little longevity wise, a little bit longer in the tooth than not for the Spurs. So, oh man, Jimenez. I don't want to get excited here. But the other drawback to Jimenez I want to bring up to you before I let you go is we're seeing in today's era, like today, Friday here on Locked On Spurs, the era of the super team seems to be dying, and I'm afraid that's going to repeat itself. You see what happened in Phoenix, you saw what happened to Brooklyn recently. I would hate to have so many powers on the team and it just doesn't work out.
Well, there are multiple teams that had that super team mentality in one season, so they were all going to win chips. There's only one championship to go around each season. Right now, we're watching a Final Four of the NBA that's going to lead to the 7th different champion in 7 different years for the NBA, right? And so there's parity going on in the NBA right now. I'm cheering for Indiana to make it happen, right? But there's parity in the NBA that we haven't seen in a long, long time. I'm afraid that by getting Giannis, he's going to stay here for just the 2 years and then bounce. And it's going to make it a 2-year window for us to be a championship caliber team. Whereas if we stay the course and potentially get leaps from Stephon Castle, and maybe Dylan Harper does become the truth, right? Maybe he is a all-star caliber. Again, he's higher touted, higher rated than Castle was coming out of college. Maybe that window becomes larger. Maybe that window becomes an 8 to 10 year window, no different than what Tim Duncan had back in the day, where he was able to win 99, 03, 05, 07, and 14. That's the debate. Are we going to go for the larger window, or are we going to go put all our chips all in the table and go, hey, these next 2 seasons, we're going to try to make magic happen, and then after that, figure it out? That's the hard part. Is it worth the war chest? Like I said, if it happens, man, I'm going to cheer for it. I'm going to be excited for it. But if it doesn't happen, I have reasons to still be excited as a Spurs fan.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just want to live in fantasy world one more time. Can you imagine those 2 guys on the court?
Well, the big question with that, and we Joe and I talked about this. Joe and I talked about this on the Area 210 podcast the other day. Having Giannis on this team could be detrimental to Wemby, because Wemby would not be the alpha of that team. You can make the argument that the alpha number 1 would be Giannis. Number 2 would be De'Aaron Fox, because De'Aaron Fox likes to be Mr. Clutch down the stretch. Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, this is detrimental towards Wemby long-term, because it doesn't force him to be the man. He just becomes a really good role player at that point.
But, I see it's still Wemby's team, but it actually enhances Wemby, because Wemby doesn't like playing center, and some analytics show that Giannis excels at playing the 5. So
I disagree, man.
I see it like that.
Giannis comes to the Spurs, it's Giannis's team. It's not Wemby's team. It's Giannis's team. Just because Wemby's been here for 2 seasons means nothing, because you know what? You talk about having that dog in him.
Yeah.
Guess the one player on the Spurs team that doesn't have a dog in him? Victor Wembanyama. And Wemby has no dog in him. Has no dog in him.
Clip that little piece right there, everybody. And
I hope that he develops it. I hope he develops it, and I think he can.
Yeah.
But the first 2 seasons, tell me at one point, was he a dog?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But I like the idea of Giannis in San Antonio. I think it's as you hit it kind of the nail on the head pretty good, just in a roundabout way. It's win-win no matter what. If you pass on Giannis, it doesn't happen. Oh no, we got Harper and Castle and Wemby, and the list goes on and on and on. If they make a move for Giannis, oh no, it's Giannis and Wemby. Who's going to score on this team? Offensive, deep, and all that good stuff. All that dog and whose house this is. I think you sort that out. But yeah, it's just I got to stop Jimenez. I got to stop, man, because I've had these crazy visions of them two together right here. He is Mike Jimenez of Area 210 podcast. He had his take on the lockdowns, or in this case, the Bucks fan comment on lockdown first. Let me know what you think. Let him know on X at MJ Acquired Taste. Also, his thoughts on Stephon Castle. Tell us about Area 10 podcast. You and Joe Garcia, y'all doing it, well, at least for you, 2 times out of the week, but Joe goes 5 times a week. What's going on over there in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, we have the biggest week that we've ever had at the Area 210 podcast, and we've been doing this for almost 2 years, man. So people like talking about the Spurs. They like talking about the Cowboys, the NFL draft, and the NBA draft, and all that stuff. Caitlin Clark and all that. So we just talk sports. We talk pop culture. We talk about nostalgic things. We go on at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday on YouTube. Just look up the Alamo Sports Podcast Network or Area 210 Podcast. You'll find us out there. You can follow me on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste. It's a fun show, man. Jeff, you're oftentimes on the show during the season. You make a lot of comments on there. It's a lot of fan-driven comments and things like that we kind of go into. But we're really pleased to have had the numbers that we've had recently. We're nearing 2,500 subscribers, which is another milestone for us. And it's the numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's so much fun to watch and talk about.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the personality that Jeff, when he throws me into the bus on Twitter, is not the personality that I have in person. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
People like me. People like me, Joe and Jeff.
I never said they don't like you. I never said they don't like you. I never said, hey, everybody, nobody likes Jimenez. I never said.
Yeah, but you always go, did Jimenez say this? And you
but
just,
hey,
and
I'm just asking Jimenez. That's all.
I can already see it. You're gonna be on Twitter, dude. On Jimenez on the next episode of Locked On Spurs said Wemby has no dog in him. I can see that as the headline.
Hey, hang on. Let me live in fantasy land for 1 more minute with you. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Just the two of us.
Just the two
we
of us.
We can make it if we try. Giannis and Wemby.
That would be phenomenal. That will be phenomenal. Again, Mike Jimenez, thank you for closing out this week here at Locked On Spurs. We appreciate you as always. Everybody else, we thank y'all for being the everydayers. Coming here to Locked On Spurs every single day for your daily dose of silver and black information, news, topics, and whatnot. Make sure to come back on Monday as we continue talking about the Spurs during their offseason. The draft is creeping up on us, so we'll get ready for that and so much more right here on Locked On Spurs. Subscribe or reach your favorite podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spotify Plus, the list goes on and on. Second, check out Locked On NBA Bit Board Show. NBA draft expert Rafael Barno reacts to every workout event leading up to the NBA draft. Find Locked On NBA Beat Board on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. So for Mike Jimenez, I am Jeff here. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.